Welcome to Manga Machinations! This is episode number 564, and we are doing another Jianghu Journeys. I'm Dakazu, and with me is Star Fox 8.
Hello, everybody.
Morgana Santilli.
Hi there.
And Seamus2389.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our podcast. We're essentially a book club for manga. We are recording this episode live on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/MangaMacTV. So hopefully we'll have some people joining in and making some comments. But we'll see. I don't think we had comments last week, Dar. I can't really remember, though.
I think LB might have popped in and said something at some point.
Ah, right. Yeah, we had a lot of people for our 11-year anniversary, because that was we made a big announcement on our Discord and social media. So.
The key is to take like a year and a half off.
Doing it consistently means people stop showing up. Yeah. Yeah, we're recording live, and let's see. It's the start of October. Morgana said she's doing her Halloween decorations.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, had anything this year besides your big cauldron from a couple years ago?
The cauldron's out. We put on the other side because we actually planted a tree on the other where the cauldron used to be. You can hear my daughter chatting with me in the background, I think.
She must be excited.
She's very excited. Are you excited about Halloween?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cute.
You want any Halloween candy?
I think I was not.
I don't know how much you can hear, but I don't think we've added anything new. I did buy some like caution tape that I want to put out, but we haven't done that yet. We've got the inflatable spider, which we couldn't find last year, but we found it. Yeah, not a whole lot. But it's kind of an ongoing process. I feel like I add to things over the course of October as I find them. As I discover them in my house.
We have to enjoy Halloween vicariously. Vicariously?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, through Morgana, because the rest of us, I don't think we live in a situation that even has trick-or-treaters. I don't think I've ever had trick-or-treaters.
We don't have a ton, I will say that. I think this is kind of the trend, though, that like fewer kids trick-or-treat than used to, which is so depressing.
Sad.
But we do get some. I definitely get candy. I sit out there. I give it to everybody. Teenagers in hoodies. I don't care. Moms and dads, come get some, please. Take my candy.
Morgana will give you circus peanuts.
I will not give you circus peanuts. I keep the circus peanuts for myself. Nobody else wants them. Yeah. I'm excited. I'm feeling good. I'm wearing a Halloween shirt today. You can't see it, but I am wearing a Halloween shirt today.
Very nice. I will say, based on our upcoming schedule, we will not be doing an October extravaganza this year. But I think we are going to talk about the next volume of DRCL at the beginning of November. Yeah. So you'll have to wait for spooky stuff until then.
Halloween is every day, guys. It's fine. We can read horror at any time, and it's appropriate.
Very true. Okay, before I forget, I want to thank our coffee supporters. If you want to financially support Manga Machinations, head over to ko-fi.com/mangamac. And you too can be a supporter, buy us a coffee, and we'll use that money to fund our manga reading projects. Become a supporter like Philip, Manga Machu, Vicky Dalton, Lulu, A-Liz, AT8, Chris from Canada, Deluid, Mia, Wyatt, Dr. Melface, Poor Mexican 72, Liquidus002, Extine, Jen, Neptic, Shirley Bossycat, and Tama Gamer. Thank you all so much for supporting Manga Machinations. Okay, I have an email this week, and I should have actually read this last week because it was sent before that. But our friend Chris from Canada sent us an email after we finished our 11-year anniversary. Okay, so his email is titled, "Oh So Busy." Hello, Team Manga Mac. The last while has been crazy, working 2 jobs, taking care of family, and having a new relationship that's taking up all my time. I get 1 day off a week, and that's usually very busy or I'm dead tired. So that brings me to my question for this email. How do you all find time to read when you are super busy? Do you ever feel guilty or bad that you can't indulge in a hobby because you are busy? I made myself a goal list for reading this year, and same goes for games. I'm definitely not going to be able to finish the list. Your friend, Chris from Canada. Peace out. Well, thank you for the email, Chris. I cannot relate to this question, Darfox. I read manga every day.
All the time.
It's usually the first thing I do when I wake up in bed. I grab my phone and I start looking at like my daily manga from Shonen Jump Plus or Pocket Shonen Magazine before I do anything else.
Bro,
before I even get out of bed.
Your brain's not even there yet. How are you comprehending the deep plots?
What deep there? Come on. that's a joke. There's barely any manga that has like a deep enough plot that I need to remember. It is fine. But yeah, I work freelance right now, and so I work from home. And I always find time for my manga. It is my favorite hobby, so like if I get a chance to take a break from work, maybe I'll start reading a little. Like that is how I that is my main form of entertainment. I think next is maybe YouTube, and then after that is video games. And I usually try to like secure time for like all 3 of them.
Oh man, where do I begin?
You have said many times on this podcast, Morgana, that you have a struggle to keep up with your manga now that you are working your job at Yen.
Yeah, I work full time and I have 2 small children, and so basically I read before bed. I mean, most of the time. Sometimes on a lunch break I will read. But one of those small children is currently asking me for things. Yeah, it's challenging. I don't read. If I did not have all of that going on, I would read more than I currently read. As it is, I pretty much read what I need to for the podcast exclusively, and if like on a week off, I will read other things. I do read novels between. Some of that's on audiobook, some of it I read like on my tablet or phone before bed, like in bed, as I'm falling asleep. I try not to read before bed too much, like right before bed, because if my brain's too active, I can't sleep. But yeah, usually I have to wait till the kids go to bed, and they go to bed around 8 p.m. and I try not to go to bed later than 10:30, because again, full-time job, small children, I need sleep. So it's definitely a challenge. I totally get it. But yeah, I don't know. It's just a matter of like, I make it happen. I believe it or not, working for a manga company does not mean you read more manga. It means you don't have time to read manga. Yeah, I mean, I don't. I do have some other hobbies too. I usually try and do things in tandem. Like I crochet. I learned how to knit this summer, so I'd knit a little bit too. That I can't do while I'm reading yet. I'm not as comfortable with it, but I will sometimes crochet while I read. It takes me longer to read something, but yeah, I have to like stack my hobbies.
I feel like Seamus is in my boat where Seamus will find time to read. Not necessarily manga, but definitely books, right, Seamus?
I think it's just how much I read is dependent on, and maybe what I'll read. If I'm after working for like 10 hours, I'm not like, all right, time to read some Thomas Mann and a Chinese novel from the 1600s. Or like something that's like academic, where you have to be like, I need to think through the words these people are saying to understand what they're talking about.
What academic things are you reading?
I have a hold on.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, hold on. He says,
As
Let
he
him
grabs
grab his
10
list, yeah.
He has 10 stack of books from the library. While we wait, Darfox is now on cam. Nice shirt.
This is what I'm currently reading. Volume 3 of The Plum and the Golden Vase. Dostoevsky or The Flood of Language by Julia Kristeva. That is like very academic. I'm reading a part of a book club, and like it is good there's people in that book club who like study this stuff and can explain some of this stuff, because I'm just like looking up stuff on Wikipedia and I'm like, I actually don't care about any of this enough to actually look into this. It's just the fact she's writing about Dostoevsky is the only reason I'm reading this book. The Magic Mountain, Debt and Venice, they're both Thomas Mann. The Rediscovery of Man. Another academic book, Our Aesthetic Categories, zany, interesting, and cute, is definitely one you need to be like not tired to read, because even going through introduction the other day, I was like, all right, I maybe need to have more energy to actually get through this book. Nation Without Borders, that's actually handy enough because it's like not, it's just like a history book. It's not like very academic, like literary theory stuff like those other two are. End of Everything, crime novel, relatively easy to read, very good. Borders and Rule, academic book on global migration, capitalism, and the rise of racist nationalism. Decline of Roman Empire, a book written in the 1700s about the decline and fall of the Roman Empire. And I think I have a book on, what do I have on the Kindle? I have like a book on like the origins of, or like the early history of like Taoism and like Confucianism and Taoism and kind of how they all interrelate.
Just out of curiosity, how long does it take you to get through a stack like this? Like
A week,
weeks,
a month?
months?
So let me think. So like, all right, the Megan Abbott book, End of Everything, that's like what? 240 pages, so I'll probably get through that in like 8 days, so probably like 2 weeks.
Okay.
Roman Empire Volume 1. How long is this book? This is Volume 1. It's like 800 pages, 900, fuck me, it's 900 pages. And that's only like the
Jeez.
first volume. Like that would probably take, maybe I do like 120 to 150 pages in a week. So that's like 2 months for that volume. And then the other ones I read for like book clubs, so it's like at the rate of the book clubs.
Which is what, monthly?
Every 2 weeks, most of them run at. I'm part of 1, 2, 3, I think. There's just 3 of them. Oh, 4. Yeah, but I need to pick up the book for the library for the 4th one. But
See,
yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
read like 2 to like 3 hours a day, if normally.
Okay. I probably
Like,
read...
bi-
Go ahead.
So like busy for me is like I only read like an hour or an hour and a half.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, I probably read like maybe 4 hours a day, maybe 5. Sometimes it goes up to like 6 if I'm like really sitting down and reading. Like last week I talked about rereading The 7 Deadly Sins. I was definitely reading for like about 5-6 hours that day. I was gonna question Seamus's choice of like reading multiple books at a time, but I guess like I do the same because, you know, the daily posts for new chapters on like these online services like Shonen Jump Plus, you know, they there's new chapters every week, but you know, every day there's a different set of like new chapters, so I'm keeping up with all of those series. I don't really want to think about how many concurrent series I'm following, based on like all the online reading and also the weekly magazine releases as well. Probably easily like up to 100 series that like concurrent, I would say. There's a lot. What about you, Dar? How do you find time for your hobbies? I figure your main hobby is video games.
I find time for reading about an hour before the podcast. I read all the stuff we have to read. That's an exaggeration, but usually the whole day of the podcast, I'm reading or catching up just because I have terrible time management. I have terrible time management for every single thing I do. I have terrible sense of time to begin with. If if I'm waiting somewhere and somebody asks me how long you been waiting, it could have been 5 minutes or 20 minutes. I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Same.
I have stuff I want to do, like fun stuff, and then I have chores I want to do, and I'm like, let me get to those chores, and I'm like, well, let me just watch this YouTube video, and I was like, well, I should do that fun stuff because I bought that game, but I haven't played it, but I can't play that game because I haven't done that chore, so I'm not gonna play the game. Let me watch another YouTube video. Then I spend a couple hours watching YouTube videos and not do anything I actually want to do or things I need to do. And then I run out of time. I have just crippling issues with time management and like I don't know, like stuff like that. People say online that that's the kind of stuff that's like an ADHD thing. I probably
Yeah.
growing up,
I
it was just like you're lazy and the people yell at you that you're lazy. So I grew up with like a lot of internalized issues of me like thinking I'm lazy. But
uh
that's how it is.
I am almost I also am somebody who thinks I may have undiagnosed ADHD. I also have I wouldn't necessarily call it poor time management. I have time blindness. I have no sense of how this is what's actually called an ADHD diagnosis, time blindness. I'm perpetually actually so people with ADHD are stereotyped as being late all the time. I am perpetually early because I am anxious about being late, and I have no sense of how long it takes to get to a place or do a thing, so I am always, like, overcompensating. If I have, like, an appointment, I can't do anything the rest of the day because I have an appointment that I have to get ready for. The appoint doesn't matter if the appointment's at 4 p.m., I cannot do anything else.
Yeah, I can relate to that. If I need to get into work at 4 p.m., for example, like let's say back when I used to work a part-time job and I had a late shift, and it's like noon, it's like, well, I can't run this errand, and I don't really want to get engrossed in the game because what if I get engrossed in the game for more than 4 hours? So that I don't actually do much before the job. This was years ago, but like I still have some of those issues.
Dar, I think we should get our diagnosis.
So I actually tried at one point, and I think that the issue is that they're pretty regimented with giving out like Adderall and stuff like that because it could be like a recreational drug for like young people and stuff like that. Um, so but like I went to go talk to the guy who was going to basically give me the drugs. It's more complicated than that, right? But I went to go talk to the guy, right? And the whole time he was very like not dismissive, but he had an explanation or a way to like kind of belittle like my issues, right? And I don't know if that's just part of the deal where like they make you work for it, or if this guy is just didn't believe me, thought I was looking for drugs or something. But like I was like, oh, my whole life I had these issues with time management and issue with focus, and like I was always really well behaved and I never liked getting in trouble. But for some reason I'd always have trouble turning in my homework because when I get home I'd had trouble getting to my homework. It was just, and he was like, oh, well, it's common for kids. Kids rather do fun stuff. I was like, okay, well, and then I go on to the next thing and kind of explain to him like all these things in my life that are like, these were problems I've had that were always explained as me being lazy or something like that. Like I don't think I'm lazy. But like he had like an explanation for all of them. I was like, oh well,
Yeah.
okay, well I really don't know what to tell you besides give me the fucking drugs. I know I need him. So the last thing they told me was like there's a test I can take that kind of figures out somehow if it's if you have ADHD, it's like a written exam that I assume is like timing you or whatever. I don't know what it is. And they said that if it's not covered by insurance, it's about $300 to take. I'm
Jesus.
like what the fuck? Like this sounds like a scam. So I never followed up on it. And this was like 3 or 4 years ago. So this was a long time ago, right? So I just haven't wanted to. I haven't wanted to like unearth that rock again. You know,
Yeah.
I didn't want to touch that again, just because. Partly because the more steps you place to like it's a miracle I got my CPAP machine because like to get the CPAP machine like I had to do so many tests so many appointments and every single like test is another hurdle of me like I could put that off for like another 2 or 3 months but I like with a CPAP machine I really forced myself to just work through it and it still took me like like 5 months to get it but like that was consistently setting up appointments and talking to like sleep specialists and stuff like that and clearing whatever bars the insurance wanted me to clear um but like that kind of stuff is it really like it's ironic because like they make you do stuff that's really hard
when you have ADHD.
when you ADHD to prove that you have ADHD and if
Yep.
you don't do it then you're not proving you have ADHD.
Yep.
Whereas it's kind of like the fact that you're not doing it sort of proves it but like that's not how they see it.
Right. My primary care doctor actually has ADHD herself. I was talking to her about thinking about getting diagnosed, and I think it's very. I personally am not interested in medication, but I am interested in just knowing what I'm working with. And she's like, "Yeah, I mean, you could talk to somebody. It's kind of. I think it's really hard to get diagnosed as an adult, and especially as a woman, and especially if, like me, you were good in school. I was good in school, but it did not have anything to do with me being good at my work because there was definitely a point where I stopped being interested and got bored. And you can tell my grades dropped. So I'm really good at hyperfocus. So if I'm interested in something, I will be good at it. But yeah, it's hard to get a diagnosis as an adult. And if you were not like a stereotypical like hyperactive class clown ass type kid, nobody is gonna guess that you have ADHD until you're like, no, my brain is very noisy though, actually. Thanks.
Yeah, it's like part of that. And I don't know if this is like a thing that happens to like Hispanic kids or some other kids, but like if you act like a stereotypical class clown, like you get slapped or you get your ass beat. So like you're just not gonna do that. Like just like survival things that make kids act calm.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's learned behavior as well as all the whatever you have on board already. Yeah, it's and even diagnosing is like not a perfect system, I think.
Yeah,
But
and
anyway,
I've heard that like medication doesn't work for everybody anyway, so it's not like it's foolish for me to think of like Adderall would like solve every single one of my issues or something like that. Like in any kind of treatment or medication is kind of toxic to kind of think of it that way. Like just sleep, like the CPAP machine I have, like it's not like my sleep is like way better than it used to be, but it's not like it fixed all of my energy issues and all of my like, there's a lot to your body and a lot that influences stuff. So it's like, diagnosis probably wouldn't save me, but I feel like it would be nice.
again, nice to know what you're working with at least. I feel like I've just assumed that I have it and have developed systems in response to that. You should see how many fucking lists I have. I have so many lists because if I don't write it down, I don't remember anything.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's definitely an issue I have. I think part of the issue is that for better or for worse, a lot of people online are talking about it. So it's not that it's become like cool to have ADHD or anything like that, but a lot of people are self-diagnosing. Um, so I think that might also be an issue with like medical professionals being like, oh, we get this all the time. Like you miss a couple of appointments, so you think you have ADHD or something like that. I assume stuff like that is happening.
Perhaps.
Anyway, we were talking about reading, I think.
Or
Yeah.
not reading.
Or not reading, the case may be.
Yeah, I feel like we covered most of the email. I guess I will say, like, Chris was asking, like, do you feel guilty about not being able to get to anything because you're
yes.
busy?
All the time. But I think, it's important to remember that you are a human and not a machine. And this is I'm telling Chris things that I need to hear also, like you can't do it all. You cannot. You physically cannot. You need to sleep. You need to, have time to do other things, spend time with your loved ones, take care of yourself. You can't always engage. And I would argue that participating in your hobbies is taking care of yourself too, but
Yeah, definitely.
there are, we're adults, we all have responsibilities too. So
I mean, there's one thing I feel guilty about. That's not spending more time with my doggy. Not to say that I don't take care of my dog.
She doesn't read alongside you? You don't like read out loud to her?
I've been considering getting, like, instead of having my computer chair, to actually get like a love seat or something in front of my computer desk.
Oh, I thought you did that. I remember you talking about it a while ago.
Yeah, so like I've already discussed this with Dar, but the problem was my wife is concerned that I need something with lumbar support because I'm working from my desk a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then also like, is it going to be big enough or high enough of the floor so I can use my computer desk? So it's, it'd be nice, I like to have my dog next to me and I can pet her as I work, but I mean, there's a dog bed, her old dog bed that's kind of ripped off, but she still uses it. It's underneath my computer desk. Because at a certain time, she was like, I'm just going to sleep at your feet. So we moved her old dog bed there. So sometimes she is there blocking my feet as I'm trying to work as well.
Pretty cute.
Just pet her with your toes every now and then.
Occasionally she'll put her head on my foot, and then I cannot move that foot for like 30 minutes, and my foot starts to go numb. It's one of those, not quite the cat on your lap and now you're stuck there, but something similar. I do wish I could spend more time with her and just like kind of pet her, but I'm busy working or reading at my desk, so. But yeah, we'll wrap up the question there. Thank you for the email, Chris. If you want to send an email to us, send it over to mangamachinations@gmail.com. Okay, let's move along to some what you been reading next. Who would like to start? What about you, Dar?
I don't think I have anything. Yeah.
You don't want to talk more about Gundam? I know you've been watching it.
I've been watching Gundam, but I'd rather save it to I have stuff to talk about. Because I know it's just I don't want to tire you guys too much out on Gundam. But speaking of hobbies, I got me one of these. I'm showing the camera. This is a copy of Silent Hill F. It's a new video game from the Silent Hill franchise that people are really liking. So I took the plunge and bought it. It's pretty exciting because it has a writer that apparently they were doing, like, they're famous for doing a bunch of visual novels that were like really good. I don't know anything about them, but just people swear by them and say that like they're extremely talented, and they apparently write kind of stories with like a feminist bent to them. And this Silent Hill game is basically all about like the pressures and expectations of a young Japanese woman growing into adulthood and being torn between expectations of I guess, yeah, I don't know the details, but I'm just assuming taking over like the family and taking care of the family and stuff like that. And then there's a lot of bullying stuff in this game, like schoolgirl bullying stuff. So people have really liked it, and it's like it's hit deep with people. So I really want to try it out. I'll be streaming it on Nakiyoshi Gaming.
Nice. People can check that out on our YouTube site. This one's interesting because all the previous Silent Hill games have taken place in Silent Hill.
Yes, a town in America. Well, actually, not 100% true. There has been other games that have taken place outside of Silent Hill, and a lot of the Silent Hill fan base is famous for being very passionate and also sometimes being very crotchety and what's I don't know what word the best to use, like picky. Like they're like, oh, this isn't a real Silent Hill game because it wasn't made by Team Silent, or this wasn't a real Silent Hill game because it doesn't get this part of the lore right. And one of those part of the lore is that they say that Silent Hill is about that town, Silent Hill, and it's specifically about that quote from the original game. I forget what it's called, like the Smile Society or the Happiness Society. That this the code, the lore in Silent Hill, that there's a code that like basically tapped into like demons and shit and the other side, and that's why Silent Hill is spooky and crazy, right? And all the plots revolve around people somehow either being directly involved with that cult or just the power within Silent Hill sucking people in and fucking with their lives, right? And the games that have not been about the cult, a lot of the fan base is like, oh, like it's not a real Silent Hill game because real Silent Hill has to be about this specific lore about the cult. The problem was that those games weren't that good, right? Like those games that weren't about the cult, a lot of times they weren't like the best games. They weren't the games made by Japanese teams. They weren't like they just weren't good. This one is good, and it's defying all the things that the snooty Silent Hill fans say. So I like it. And like now they're forced to go back on their word if they want to play this good game, because this game takes place in a whole fucking other country. The Silent Hill effect was like something that people talk about, where it's like, oh, maybe Silent Hill, the effect of Silent Hill is spreading and it's affecting other people. Who cares? It doesn't matter. Like Silent Hill should be like a disturbing, spooky game with weird monsters, a little bit of gore. Gore is more of a Resident Evil thing. It has gore, but more just like haunted people who have like extreme issues in their life, either extreme guilt or like they have this extreme problem that's like weighing them down. And it's just like, and this dark force is just haunting them and torturing them, and it manifests in actual monsters coming towards them. And this times it's like about um about how fucked up society is towards young women. So it's, this is the best case scenario, I think. I'm so happy that this game has resonated with people, because like I honestly feel like the Silent Hill fans had a really narrow view of what Silent Hill was. And the view of Silent Hill was that it's already done. Like the story of Silent Hill was already done. It finished in Silent Hill 3. But this game sounds like it's going to be great, and I can't wait to play it.
Very nice. I look forward to watching you play it, as I will never play it. It's scary.
Yeah, but yeah, you do watch scary games sometimes, right?
Yeah, I'll watch them. Asking me to play them? No, thank you. No, thank you. I play a scary game unto itself called Silk Song, because that game is hard. Okay.
Ooh, yeah, have you beat that game?
No, Hades 2 officially came out, so I went to Hades 2, and I just finished everything I needed to do in Hades 2 yesterday, which means I have to go back to Silk Song, and I am kind of concerned because I feel like I'm going to hit the wall of difficulty that I cannot overcome. We will see what happens. I might get distracted because the Final Fantasy Tactics remake came out, and I might just pivot to that.
Yeah, people were asking me about that game, but I never got into Tactics, so I can happily ignore it. But people love Tactics.
Yeah, I kind of want to play this one. But anyway, that's been our video game update. Thank you, Dar. Let's go to Seamus. Seamus, do you read or watch anything you want to talk about?
No.
Okay. What about you, Morgana?
No, I don't think so. In the interest of spooky season, I will mention a novel I read a while back. I believe it or not, I don't read a lot of horror novels. It's just a genre I'm not super familiar with. I've read a couple of I've read Dracula, I've read Frankenstein, although whether you count Frankenstein as horror is I mean, it's science fiction, but I don't know. People get weird about genre designations. Anyway, I've been wanting to try more modern horror novels, so I listened to the audiobook of the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix, and I thought it was really great. I will put out the warning, the trigger warning. There is sexual assault, not on page, but it's definitely an issue, a thing that comes up. It's described to some degree. And bad things happen to women, bad things happen to children. But that said, I still think it was a really good book. It really takes the premise of the vampire as the original serial killer and kind of goes with that theme. And it's about a bunch of housewives in South Carolina in the 90s who have a book club where they read like true crime novels and things like that. And Grady Hendrix is known for being funny as well as writing really scary horror, and he is very funny. I will say a lot of the horror is more gross than like jump scare scary. There's a lot of descriptions of things that you're just like, oh god, why? But if you like novels, and the audiobook was quite good, I'll say it's narrated by Bonnie Turpin, who I've heard. She also narrated The Hate You Give, which is like a really popular YA novel that I liked a lot. But yeah, since it's spooky season, if you want a vampire novel, a more modern vampire novel, I recommend The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. Again, with all those warnings and caveats in place.
Nice, Morgana. Thank you. And you know, I will continue with you as I have a horror manga to talk about.
Ooh.
So, there's a horror manga called The Creepy and Freaky. I'm posting a link to the other hosts. Dar, if he wants to bring that up, he may. The unique thing about this horror manga, Morgana, it is by Kamentotsu. And Kamentotsu has Baby Bear Bakery from Dempa. He's also the one who did the nonfiction manga Kamentotsu no Manga Narazumichi. The one I talked about that exposed the controversy behind the Kirby manga.
Okay, that's how I know his name.
Mm-hmm. And he is usually known as the non-fiction guy, and here he is doing a fictional horror series. I think the title, The Creepy and Freaky, is kind of bad. The Japanese title is Kawaii Yasan, and it mostly means like the scare store. And so, yeah, there's a couple chapters available to read. This series is on in English on Manga Plus, so you can read it over there. They have free chapters on the website, and if you have the app, you can read everything for free. But the story takes place in an animal village with cute animal characters. Think Animal Crossing. And there is a bunny character that sells fear. Their store sells fear. And they have a creepy box. And every chapter, you get like a creepy box that opens that holds a story of a terror inside. Darfox on the stream has brought up the bunny. And so the interesting thing is all the tales of terror takes place in the human world. There are humans recounting horror stories. And I have to say, Kamentotsu has a very cute style, and then applying that to horror is pretty effective. I don't think it's that creepy looking compared to someone like Junji Ito, who has really mastered the creepy like look. But there's something like very intriguing about the way Kamentotsu draws some horror. Dar is scrolling through some pages and it's very funny.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a good image with like I both want the cute and the horror in it at the same time.
Probably the box's opening is probably like one of the good choices you're gonna get. But here's the thing, Morgana. I thought this was series. It's been going on since March of 2025, and I thought I check out new chapters, but I thought it was okay. But in the recent chapters, it turns out there is a much stronger connection between the animal people and the humans in the human stories that have been coming up. Also, the human stories, they seem like they're all disconnected, but then it's, as you read, like, they're more connected with, like, similar characters appearing. And now, in the newest chapters, they have basically, like, established a connection. I won't tell what the connection is, because that's spoilers. I want people to check this out themselves, but it's pretty good. I'm very much invested now that we are 25 chapters in, and now we have a very good establishment. So yeah, Morgana, you might want to check this out yourself.
Yeah,
As
it
I
definitely sounds like my jam.
As I said at the beginning, it's a little, seems disjointed, maybe not as creepy. They're just kind of like little terrifying, like small creeps. But it got good. It started okay, and now it got good. So I'm happy to bring it up on the podcast now that we have reached this point. Okay, besides that, I have another manga to talk about. One second, let me bring it up on my own screens. Okay, so this manga is Mishi ni shimashou. Shuchou Kuidaore Hen. It is a secret series to Mishi ni shimashou by Domu Kobayashi. I've talked about this manga before because remember how we read Kasane? And at the end of Kasane, some of the assistants would come like write a bonus manga. I think the one we all remember was the beefy Rat-Faced McGee, like beating up dudes. But
Yes.
another assistant of what is it? Damn it, what's her name? Daruma Matsura. That's it. She, one of her other assistants was Domo Kobayashi. And his manga, Mishi ni Shimashou, or Let's Make a Meal, was like heavily based on the actual food cooking he did for Daruma Matsura. Dar, remember how I asked you to re-download volume 10 of Kasane?
Yep.
I would like you to open that up and then jump to the end of the volume so you can see the promo page for Mishi ni Shimashou. Remind Morgana and everybody else.
Afterwards and ads. Well,
Mm-hmm. But while Dar picks that up, so this new series is a continuation of Mishi ni Shimashou, or Let's Make a Meal. But now it's business trip eating to your heart's content. And the interesting thing about this sequel series, and I'll link Dar to like the new stuff in a second, is that in this sequel series, they are checking out food in Kochi, which is in Shikoku, and that is where my father is from. So I had a good time reading this volume of the sequel series and recognizing a lot of the locations where they travel to and a lot of the foods they bring up because they're specific to Shikoku and Kochi, where around the place where my father is from. I'm sending Darfox a link to the manga that is over on Comic Days. Yeah, even on the first page it says 2024 August, Kochi, Susaki. And Morgana, you might recognize Susaki because John Oliver on his Last Week Tonight show, he did a segment about mascots. And Chitan, the evil mascot, the unofficial mascot of Susaki. The official mascot is Shinjo-kun, an otter wearing a ramen for a hat. And I've been there multiple times. I have there. My wife has a baby Shinjo-kun. You pull the tail and then like it wiggles. It's very cute. And so yeah, one volume of this is out. There's a lot of food from Kochi, and so I feel like even though I've never lived there, I visit there many a times. And it's nice to see a food manga specifically covering a place where my father is from. And it's what I like about this food manga is like it's semi-fictional, semi-non-fictional, because it's clear Domu Kobayashi has done a lot of the cooking that comes up in this manga. And sometimes, you know, the entire concept is he draws himself as a woman and goes around and does a bunch of like these crazy cooking things. I think in the original series, he made roast beef in Dharma Matsuda's like bathtub by using the bathtub to sous vide some like a giant hunk of like beef. So he's known for making kind of like outlandish, crazy meals. And even in this new series, he tries to make a biryani with fragrant rice, and he fucks it up. It wasn't a complete slam dunk, you know, and he's kind of honest about, oh, I could have done this a little better. This is kind of a fail. Even though the other people thought it was pretty good. So it's kind of fun to see, like, there's some honesty, you know, not drawing how, like, they're perfecting all the meals. You know how in some food manga, the main character comes in and is like, here, let me present this, and everyone's like, oh, amazing, this is perfect. Domu Kobayashi is much more, like, honest about, like, oh, this didn't go quite as well. This doesn't taste quite as good. I could have done this better. And that's kind of refreshing to see in a food manga as well. So there you go. Mishi ni shimashou. Shuchou Kuidaura Hen. I enjoyed it. And okay, that will wrap up my what you've been reading. And that will wrap up our segment. Before we get to our main segment, let's talk about next week. Next week, we will be returning to our Buddha retrospective. We're going to be reading Volume 2 of Buddha, 416 pages. So look forward to that next week. Okay, everybody, before we get to our main segment, we're going to take the stream down. And we'll be right back after a quick break with more Jianghu Journeys. Stay tuned. Okay, everybody, we are back. This is episode 6 of Jianghu Journeys. We are watching Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, and Michiko and Hatchin in tandem. This week, we watched episode 6 of Cowboy Bebop, Sympathy for the Devil. We watched Samurai Champloo episode 7, A Risky Racket. And we watched episode 7 of Michiko and Hatchin, The Rain That Falls in Monotone. As with all Jianghu Journeys, we're not going episode by episode. We are just going to be talking about what we want to talk about and just bring it up as we want. It is a free-form discussion. Is this the part in anime seasons where we hit the lull? Because I was very underwhelmed with basically every episode.
I feel like these three were all like, we want to make you feel feelings. but like I didn't feel that many feelings. You know, I mean, they're just kind of all like, ooh, here's like a, you know, in Bebop we have this kid who's actually an old guy and he has a tragic backstory, but he's also a terrible person. Yeah, I don't care. Good music though,
Music's excellent.
which is the case in all the Bebop episodes. And then Samurai Champloo is like, "Oh, this kid is you know, he's in trouble and but he's got a sick mom and that's why he's doing bad things and oh no, he dies. Boo-hoo." And then Michiko is getting with a married man and I'm just like, "He's not even cute. Just move on, dude." Like just and she and Hatchin get in a fight because of course they do.
Again, even though in the last episode she was crying because, you know, you came and saved me, yay, from the wacky Looney Tunes Matador fight.
It's the whole thing.
You should, like, they've only known each other a month. I want to point out here, like, Michiko broke out of prison at the start of March. This episode starts in the start of April.
Fair point.
She's been a great mom.
This is not the end of them having issues in how they relate to each other.
I'm sure, but like it's still, I don't know. There's something about the way that Michiko and Hatchin episode played out that I was kind of like, this is not hitting.
Well, I kind of felt like there was, and maybe because this isn't the type of show that just has like a nice morality tied up with a bow at the end of the episode, but it really felt like it was aiming. Maybe my brain is wired to think that way because so much Star Trek that I watched, but like it was really, it felt like it was heading in a direction where like you're looking for like some sort of affirmation in like some random person where you can dedicate yourself to this like daughter, the surrogate daughter that you have. And that's, you know, maybe you could say that's the subtext of the episode, but it really doesn't follow through with it in this case. And, you know, maybe it does in the long form of the series. But she was just like really shitty to Hatchin in this episode.
Yeah.
And which made me just feel really bad. Like made me really dislike Michiko this episode.
Yeah, I do think one thing I kind of appreciate about this episode, and it is kind of uncomfortable, but Michiko never signed up to be a parent. Hatchin is not her biological daughter, right? But she has kind of put herself in this position of the responsible adult, and she's not she's barely an adult. So of course she's thinking about, you know, what would be fun for her. Having an affair would be fun. Doing grown-up things would be fun. But she's got this kind of...
I mean, to be fair, she wasn't looking to have an affair. She found out that he was married later.
Yes. And I do appreciate that, although...
No, she still makes that choice to then do it after she realizes,
or at least that's what's implied. Yeah, I'm never sure how that really goes, but it's dumb. It's dumb. It's just, you know, I don't know.
I don't know. I was underwhelmed with basically all three of these episodes. So I was like, wow, this also like works again with like our tandem watch along, how they all matched up with being kind of like meh.
Was this the episode that you were implying earlier? This episode of Cowboy Bebop, the one that you were like, it's not very good?
No.
Okay.
And I'm surprised you all thought that.
Because it's kind of a weird episode. I don't love it either. Like, it's fine. It's fine. And the harmonica songs are great.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a meh. There's this whole, like, I don't know, mood that, like, Spike is going to his death. And I'm like, I don't really feel the stakes here. Maybe that's because I know there's an episode 7 and he's the main character. You know, I don't know.
I don't know. I kind of enjoy the weird sci-fi. Go ahead, Seamus.
I was the one that said the
Oh, it sounded like Seamus.
It was my hold on. This is Seamus. This is Dakazu. And this is we're gonna I'm a impressionist.
Lovely.
Basically, I like the Cowboy Bebop episode more than you two, I think. it's not like a great episode, but like the style goes a long way, and I just really like just like a dozen really small touches that I really like. Just really small things. The way he's holding the ring after his first like bounty in the opening, the way he dies and he's holding the ring, and then like the police sirens are above him, and like him holding the ring in his hand, it gets like washed out with white light and it starts shining. Like just like very small things like that. It's not a surprise. It's directed really really well. Um, the when Jet and Fatty start talking to each other in the very beginning is because like they're both after the same bounty, and for some reason like they both don't want to talk to each other, but they have like they feel like they have to be nice to each other for some reason. They're like, hey, how are you? How are you? And all that. Like I think all that stuff works really well. I really really like when they're seeing the vision of the guy who's like comatose, who the little kid was using as like his cover, and he sees from his POV, from his POV, his partner dying. And the way as soon as they shoot from the POV, it cuts to like the previous footage of him falling out with like the harmonica. Like I'm not saying anything that you don't know, but I do want to say that all that stuff really works for me. Like it was a really enjoyable watch. Just the way it was cut together, like just pure editing. This is one of those episodes that almost feel like a music video. From just like the flow of like the images and the music, and I really really liked it. At least as far as that goes. It's not a great episode, I agree. It's pretty unremarkable, but like there's images and sounds of this episode that like still stick with me. Like at the end with this explosion and he stands up right before Spike shoots him, and like the crazy drum song comes up and it's really loud, and there's fire everywhere. Like that, pretty badass. Like a lot of smart stuff like that. Elevate this to be like a really good watch.
I mean, Cowboy Bebop at its worst is still better than some anime at their best. So
I think that's the easiest way to say that. Where like there's nothing remarkable about this episode, but damn, watching it was like a good time for me.
I think like you mentioned the editing, and like I fear like we've hit the point in the anime production on this show where they're like, oh, we're all getting pretty tired. We need to do something where we don't have to animate as much, but we still have to make it, well done. So through the power of direction and the power of editing, they're able to reuse a lot of footage in this episode, maybe not have that many action scenes. But it's the strength of the director and the editing, right? Like it still comes off very good. Even though you mentioned that POV shot cutting to like the recap of the guy falling through the window.
Yeah, straight up reusing footage.
Yeah, to me that was like, let's reuse this footage because god damn it, we can't animate anymore. Like I knew that was like part of the truth behind that scene.
But like it cuts to the shot of him falling out the window, which is a well animated scene. Might as well use on.
It is. It is.
And then it cuts to all the reaction faces, and they're all like uncharacteristically shocked because they all knew he got shot and fell out the window, right? But it's almost like in that moment they do feel the hurt that this comatose guy was feeling. And then it cuts to like this really cool looking shot of like the kid on top of like a building, and it's like sunset, and he's like playing the harmonica, and it's like very foreboding. So like, yeah, I mean, if you're gonna reuse footage and use like very basic reaction shots to like add 2 minutes to this episode, which is that's like adding a lot to an episode that's only like 21 minutes, right? They fucking did it well. I'll say that.
They did, and we mentioned the music does a lot of heavy lifting. Amazing blues harmonica. But yeah, the plot too of the episode is a little convoluted. Why would no one else notice the fact that this kid has been around for so many years? like that seems very contrived.
In this episode, Jet is able to use some kind of technology to scan this ring, and then also use this technology to scan this guy's brain. And we're watching, and I'm like, man, the Bebop is like, it's got a lot of tech on board. And my husband was like, You would think all the times they're starving, they never think sell the brain scanner.
They
You
need
know,
it.
like-
They need it for all their Deus Ex Machina moments.
Apparently, yes.
It's like a $20 thing if you like pawn it. So like, noodles cost $30 in the future, so it's not worth it.
Yeah. You have any thoughts about the Cowboy Bebop episode we watched, Seamus? Do you like it?
I don't know. I think what Dara was kind of saying kind of summarized my thoughts of like, there's some really cool like editing and like scenes, but I was just like, it's okay. It's very.
I feel like
just,
we've all seen that sci-fi story before. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, I was trying to like figure out. It just like lacked something. I don't know. Was it just that it was just a very Spike focused episode where like the other characters were barely in it? Bit like all like that Samurai Champloo episode was just basically a Fu episode.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
of course, Fu is like the weakest character too. So
Well, I feel like the Champloo episode is very similar to. Is it the second episode where they have like that big guy that like
It also has the same director because I was like, the style with the thick lines I don't like is back, and I was like, oh, directed by the same person. I was like, okay, this might explain it.
okay. It is reminiscent to that second episode that we watched, so
yeah, like somebody who's like kind of a criminal, but then they're kind of like either a pathetic person or at least a little sympathetic, and Fu like really feels bad for them, and then they die at the end. And the only person who's like mourning them is kind of like Fu. Well, I guess in this case, the mother's mourning them. But yeah, just like very similar. In the English dub, the pickpocket guy was voiced by Johnny Young Bosch, which is fun. I always like hearing Johnny Young Bosch.
Oh, I thought I recognized his voice. Okay.
Yeah, it's just Ratchet Stampede being like, "How got your money?" or other famous lines he said. I don't know. I can't think of anything he said in the episode. Did you watch dub before Michiko and Hatchin?
I watched
Mo-
Japanese.
Morgana.
I watched it for all of them, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Was the fucking cheater guy? Was that Hiei?
Oh,
He sounded like Hiei to me.
let me take a look. Hang on, I let me check.
I can look it up too.
I'll look it up too.
What even was the name of that cheater guy? Who was that? Bruno,
Bruno.
voiced by Chuck Huber.
Yeah, I'm
That's
pretty
him.
sure that is Hiei, yeah.
That's
I
him.
also just realized that Rico, who's Pepe, remember Pepe Lima, her pimp, was voiced by Justin Cook, who is Yusuke. I mean, there are only 5 people who work in English dubbing, okay?
Yeah, especially
At the
Funimation
same
dubs.
time. Yes, there are only 5. And 2 of them are Justin Cook and Chuck Huber.
There are also 5 like audio voice directors
Mhm.
in Funimation, and they're also the same people.
Justin Cook was also the producer on English Michiko
Yeah.
and Hatching.
Yeah, he's a producer on a lot of Funimation stuff. I'm pretty sure he's the producer of Yu Yu Hakusho as well.
Sorry, I had to ride that with Chuck
No, it's
Huber.
okay. Now I'm looking at all the dub cast.
I think it's good, Dar, because I don't have a lot to say, to be honest. The most I had to say was about the Cowboy Bebop episode, and now, like, I think we're done.
Well, one, and I know the moment I say lore, everybody's gonna be like, they're gonna be like, throwing up, but there is a surprising like lore drop sort of in Cowboy Bebop where like they show Spike getting the eye surgery, which is something he mentions like way
yes.
later
Oh,
on.
the intro, yeah.
It's just kind of random how like some of his back. I mean, the first episode starts with like a flashback as well. But it's kind of interesting how they decided to just drop in stuff in random episodes here and there.
Doesn't him leaving the ship effectively is like a pre-run to what's going to happen at the end of the show?
Yeah, actually, that staging where he's walking out and Faye is there bidding him farewell or whatever, doesn't that like happen exactly at the end of the like
Not exactly,
but
it's
like very similar?
Yeah, like he talks with Jet, but I think at the time Jet's more relaxed, and then he talks with Faye, but like she's more upset.
Mm-hmm.
Like the second time round, partly because like there's another 20 episodes to go. But I was watching it just because I watched that recently. I was like, they're literally just prefiguring it like right here. Like even that line he has about before he heads off, I think kind of rolls back into like the last episode or second last episode. I can't remember.
I don't like it.
I don't like
No,
it, Jet.
he says something else about like trying to find out. Oh, hold on.
Because I thought like the reason they showed the intro with his flashback getting the surgery was at the after he shoots the kid and the kid turns old. Some very interesting computer graphics effects of the time, which I'm sure was state of the art back in the day. But as that kid dies, he says, "You see it too, huh?" Of course, the episode ends with Spike saying, "Like hell, I do." But yeah, I mean, we know this because we've seen the series, but later on, Spike talks about his eyes.
Way later in the show, what caused that accident? Just when they mentioned it, I was like, isn't that like a thing that comes up like later on where they're like, oh, this is what happens?
I don't remember, but I remember just him talking about how like he sees the future out one eye and the past on the other, and he, he's kind of sleepwalking the whole time because he can't tell what he's looking at.
Yeah, I don't know if they give a specific. We'll have to like keep that in mind as we watch these episodes, though.
Again, with the editing, it's starting off with the harmonica and those images, like relatively disturbing images of like surgery, and like it looks very oppressive and kind of hostile. It just doesn't look just like a regular surgery place, right? And like it's not just a harmonica in the track. There's like drums, and like the drums work so well for like just like the flow of the scene, and just adding this kind of like ominous bit to it.
It adds an urgency. Yeah, music does so much. God bless Yoko Kanno.
Girl does a lot of heavy lifting in this series. I feel, like there like episodes like this where you're like, yeah, like in any other anime, this would be like kind of a throwaway. I mean, it is a bit of a throwaway, but like again, it's hard for me to say I don't like it because goddamn that soundtrack.
Hey, at least they didn't cover this in the live action Cowboy Bebop.
Oh god, I don't even want to know what it would be like.
Speaking of Yoko Kanno, did you know that she was at the Apollo one time? Like the Apollo Theater where it's basically like amateur night, and people go up there and they sing or perform, and the audience is famously like merciless, and they boo you, and then they eventually yank you out if you get booed enough.
When? Back in the day?
Yeah, but like way back in the day. Like I saw it on like Instagram, and then I was like, like I was like, is this real? And I looked it up, and I guess it's real. She was singing like Shaka Khan, and she did like a pretty good job. I think they were booing, but like eventually, like she just sang through it, and I think they're cool with it.
I did not know that. Well, Seamus, tell me what you thought of the Samurai Champloo episode. You like it? You are a fan of Samurai Champloo.
Like I said, that look at the faces, even like there was bits that just seemed like Maybe this is also an episode where they're like, let's go easy on the animation. Because some of it, just didn't look good. Don't even. I kind of like the ending, but I think part of the reason why I like that ending is that song they played at the end. I like listen to a lot of now because I'm going through the Samurai Champloo soundtrack. What's it like? I think Miss Line is the name of it. With like Fu talking to the mother. And they'd like those two scenes where like Fu has a dream, and it's
Yes,
like
it's
where it's all
green.
like green, and then there's like a scene where the kid is talking to the doctor, and it's like that similar thing of you've got the paper paneling with the light coming through it.
Mm-hmm. The shoji, yeah, those paper doors.
No, other than those two and some of the music, like and that bit at the end, I was like, yeah, this isn't a great episode.
Yeah, because
Say
I was watching
the
it and
weakest
I
of
got
the
to
three.
this. Oh,
Like
sorry.
we watched today.
Yeah.
I was gonna say like definitely the weakest of the three you watched today.
I'm kind of going back and forth between that and the Michiko and Hatchin episode.
This Michiko, I watched it and I was like this vague notion of, I think this is a really good episode. And I rewatched it, I was like, this is a really good episode. Because it's like totally unlike the rest of them where it's like, there's no mad shit happening. It's just like them in a place. And you kind of, I don't know, like Morgana was saying, like you kind of realize like Michiko is not like a person who is like calm and collected and cool and got all her shit together. She's literally chasing after a guy she hasn't seen in 15 years. So like, and then she like meets another guy like randomly in a hotel, and she's like, oh, he's kind of good looking.
I mean, I feel
There's
like
something about him.
up till now, like she's been kind of like a wild character, but like she was always like, oh well, Michiko's awesome. She's fun to watch. She's very entertaining to see. And in this episode, she's kind of like, it's much more of a dick.
She's kind of pathetic.
Yeah, and doing like weird things, and Hatchin calls her out on it too.
Yeah, but if you think about it, like, is her not running after a guy she hasn't seen in 15 years pathetic?
No, I mean, in comparison, I think this episode you see a little bit more of her internal state than what she shows outwardly, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I think I like this episode better than the Champloo one. I think there's stuff here that's worth examining. Not that I don't in Champloo, but I just feel like that one I was supposed to feel sorry for. I don't know. That one felt like I was being manipulated. My feelings were being manipulated, I think this episode of Michiko and Hatchin is showing you something about Michiko that you haven't seen yet, which is good for her character development, even if it's not like fun to watch necessarily.
Okay.
There's so much smoking. There's a lot of people
So
smoking
much.
indoors. They're just on like is it a lake? It's just like a place where there's like a load of like water houses and you have to get around by boat.
Yeah, a lot of rivers or something.
Like it's very different from everything that's the last 4 or 5 episodes.
And there's some good guitar music.
But like in general, the music is very sparse in that episode.
However, they did. I don't know if it's the first, but the first that I really noticed, song with like Portuguese lyrics and like singing. Like I'm sure
Yes.
there's been more, but like this one was like very upfront and center, which for some reason I was like really missing. It was like, oh, like more of this. Like why haven't we had more
Yeah.
of this?
Yeah, I agree. I want some more Brazilian music, like singing. I mean, I've talked about how my husband lived in Brazil for a few months, and I went and visited him at the time too, and he was studying music, Brazilian music. So
Your husband studied Brazilian music?
yeah.
Damn, your husband is so fucking cool.
my husband's course of study in college was ethnomusicology. So he was doing a study on Brazilian, specifically like caipira and Brazilian like country and folk music.
Damn, that is such a cool music degree.
Yeah.
I have a fucking music education degree. Boo-hoo.
Yeah, I mean, we both went to Hampshire College. We got our we didn't have grades, we didn't have tests. We made our own course of study. I've talked about this before. Yeah. So he played a bunch of Brazilian music and learned a bunch of songs, and So yeah, Brazilian music is really cool. That's why I was telling you guys about the cuica a while, like at the beginning of this series, that little percussion instrument that makes that sound that's in the title cards of Michiko and Hatchin. That ooh, ooh, ooh,
Mhm.
ooh, ooh. Yeah. We have one because he brought it back from Brazil because it was part
See,
of what he
but
did.
it's just like I feel like I lack the musical presence in Michiko Hatchin the most. Obviously, in Samurai Champloo and in Cowboy Bebop, they're going to be like much more in the foreground.
Yeah,
But
I
still,
agree.
I because those two, like, music is a big part of the gimmick and the identity of the show. Whereas Michiko Hatchin, it's not really like bullet point number 2, right? Or else I feel
yeah,
like it's
it's a
bullet point number
secondary.
2.
Yeah,
Well, I feel like it's like with Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo is like, okay, this is like a space opera thing, and it has a bunch of like jazz and blues in it. It's like this very second thing you have to mention.
I
Is
mean, bebop is in the name,
yeah,
you know.
and technically like Champloo is like also like a musical reference.
Oh,
Yes.
random aside, Dar, did you hear about the who's the director of Cowboy Bebop again? Shinichiro Watanabe.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's a Shinichiro Watanabe mode in the new Ghost of
Yote. Yeah.
Yote. Yeah.
Yeah. I did hear about that. I
You can
think that's kind of cool or whatever.
What does that involve?
like it literally plays lo-fi beats as you play the game, Morgana.
But
Oh,
So
man.
it's
aping the aesthetic, completely missing the point.
well, they did get him
They do
involved.
people.
Apparently, he chose the lo-fi beats, so he went through like a playlist or something. But they did it with the first game, right? With
Oh, I didn't know that.
no, they did it with Akira Kurosawa. They had Akira Kurosawa mode, which made the game black and white.
Yes, because that's what Akira Kurosawa was known for. It's black and white. Yeah, that's what I think about when I think. What's Akira Kurosawa samurai movie? Black and white. Yeah, nothing else distinctive. Nothing about editing or maybe his particular view on like class relations in feudal Japan. Let's forget about all that. It's got a cool aesthetic. Who cares about what he actually thought about any of this?
Damn, Seamus saying Sucker Punch is no better than the live-action Cowboy Bebop people.
Well, yeah, they're
Only-
not. Like, why would you think they are? Oh, we're doing an Akira Kurosawa video game. We're like, what the fuck you on about?
All right, that was funny.
It's just like the signifier without any of the intents. Or, I don't know. Signifier, it's like an empty signifier.
I don't know what. I didn't play Ghost of Tsushima, so I don't know what it's actually about. But yeah, I mean, they're selling like a samurai toy. You know,
yeah.
that's what you're buying.
My husband played Tsushima and is probably gonna play Yote, and he was like, "This game is so fucking bushido." Yeah, it's fun. It's definitely like it's a samurai fantasy. That's let's not oversell it. But I think he would probably enjoy the lo-fi beats, if I'm being honest with you.
Would you call Samurai Champloo a samurai fantasy?
No, Samurai Champloo is like weird.
Well, for one thing, none of them are samurai.
Well, I think people who don't know what samurai are would call Jin a samurai. You know, like again, signifiers like he looks like a samurai. He has like
He's
a
very
katana.
stoic. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a send up of a samurai fantasy. Like this is like farcical. In fact, isn't there some Akira Kurosawa like more comedy centric films that are a bit of a send up of the whole genre? I've only seen one Kurosawa film, and I can't remember which one it is even. Run, I think.
I think there's one. I can't. No, it's not Sanjiro. No, it's Yujimbo. It's kind of like more comedic
Yeah, but like
and fairly
that's like a
jaundiced view. Like
dark comedy.
Kurosawa himself is a fairly, I think, jaundiced view of a lot of that stuff. Like exactly what the samurai are and what their role in society is. And really, should it even exist?
I love how we're talking about everything except the actual like episodes we watched.
I mean,
We're talking about culture.
I also watch these on like Tuesdays, so I'm trying to remember them. I don't
watch
have a lot of
these-
time. I take them when I get it.
I watched these on Thursday, and after I finished watching all three, I was like, can I convince the other three hosts to quit doing Jianghu journeys?
It's crazy.
It wasn't that bad.
I was like, after I finished those, like, I was kind of in a mood. I was like, I don't know about this anymore.
But the next episode of Bebop is Heavy Metal Queen. I'm excited for it.
I don't know. Like, I'm at the point now where, like, Champloo is kind of clearly not a show for me. Michiko and Hatchin, you know, I wasn't that big on this particular episode we watched, though. Talking to you all, like, it makes a lot more sense. And Cowboy Bebop is like, oh, it's Cowboy Bebop, so I wasn't being that serious about, like, asking to, like, end Jianghu journeys at this point.
Oh, another random thought about Sympathy for the Devil, the Cowboy Bebop episode. I owned volume 1 of the DVDs of Cowboy Bebop, which include the first 5 episodes, right? I watched it a bunch on TV, so I've seen Sympathy for the Devil multiple times. I saw it on TV multiple times. But I watched that DVD of the first 5 episodes of Cowboy Bebop like, 10 or 20 times, like a lot of times, right? Like plug it in and watch all 5 episodes, like a movie, right? In one session, and it always ends with the episode preview for Sympathy to the Devil. Sympathy to the Devil always was like, it always felt like that episode that, like, like that was the next one in line that I never had, because I never ended up buying any more of the DVDs because they cost money. So like it also occupies like this other like aspect of like kind of like my Cowboy Bebop fandom where it's like I know the first 5 like the back of my hand. I know them like just super super well, and I'm like, episode 6 is where like the undiscovered episodes start, where the ones where like, okay, I don't like, as I watch this, I'm like discovering things that I've forgotten, where else I pretty much don't forget anything about the first 5 episodes because I've seen them so many times.
Yeah, I used to tape the episodes off of Adult Swim back in the day on VHS tapes on a VCR. And so there are a few episodes I've watched over and over again, mostly Toys in the Attic, over and over again, because I just love that episode. But yeah, I keep remembering things too that I'm like, oh right, that happened there. I don't like blocked that out of my mind, or like it just wasn't. This episode I feel like I remember fairly well, just because it's not that, I don't know, like I feel like they in Sympathy for the Devil, they try to make this thing that's really mysterious, and it's absolutely not a mystery at all. Like immediately you're like, oh, the kid's an old guy. Like I don't know, like it just, maybe it's because I've seen it enough times that I know the answer. It just doesn't feel as mysterious as they want it to be, I think.
They should have known he's an old guy because he's dressed like Lupin the Third.
Right? I know.
But I think I remember the first time I watched it, I was like, oh, I didn't see that coming, because I had not seen that kind of storyline before. The young person, but it actually turns out they're immortal, so they've lived a long life. It was fairly a new sci-fi concept that I hadn't seen up till that point.
Yeah, and I guess it's worth mentioning, like, I first saw this episode when I was probably 11 or 12, so it's lived in my subconscious for over 20 years. So I just, like, to me now, like, yeah, whatever, it's fine, I guess.
Old news from Morgana of 2025.
So I don't know. Ask preteen Morgana how she thinks that went down. I don't remember how I felt the first time.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else in these 3 episodes.
I did also like the ending of Michiko and Hatchin, where it's like Hatchin is like, oh, I'm 10 years old. She's staring at a passed out drunk Michiko on the floor of a hotel.
Yeah, very abrupt and
No way to spend your 10th birthday.
Yeah.
Still a better parent than her foster parents, I will argue. Just
Yeah.
putting that out there.
She got her shoes robbed again. She needs to just get like a pair of shoes.
I thought it was a kind of weird. Like, I get that, you know, we're not gonna kill off Hatchin in episode 7, but so the kids saved her.
Yes, that's what happened. Yeah.
Yeah, because Michiko sure as fuck didn't save her.
Yeah. Well, maybe Hatchin is learning something about her relationship with Michiko that will continue on in later episodes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, maybe that's also like why I like this episode, because like I vaguely remember more where the shows go.
Okay.
It's interesting watching this one, kind of knowing where the rest of the show goes. Because like Morgana's saying, you do kind of see like a different side of Michiko. You kind of realize, yeah, she's good with guns and she's like good on a bike, but yeah, in terms of personal relationships, she's not great.
Nope. I did feel for like Hatchin. It's like yet again in another episode, she's just getting shit on. I assume that's going to change at one point, but it's going to be a lot of that until she really learns to be her own person and stand up for herself. I guess she sort of stood up for herself here.
Yeah, I do think part of this series is Hutchin's growth and like going from abused and parentless to finding her voice, and Michiko's influence on that.
Mm-hmm. Yep, still on board for Michiko and Hatchin. I'm sorry, man. Like, Samurai Champloo is still kind of like, I'm still
Doc,
waiting.
Do you know I started rereading Die Dark, or reading Die Dark, and I was like, what else is out there that is like Samurai Champloo? And I was like, Die Dark. That's it. I need to get back to Die Dark. I remembered. Oh yeah,
I was like, why did Seamus decide to go back to Die Dark after we were kind of like, I don't know. We had all
Crucially,
decided.
Ye were like that. I
Oh,
don't
you
think
think it was specifically me? I don't know. I feel like Morgana.
Well, no. I think 3 out of 4. I think 3 out of the 4 people on this podcast are not that big a fan of Die Dark. I think I was like the person who was like, no, I think there's still something here. And then I kind of forgot. I stopped reading it for like 2 years. But to be fair, that happens with a lot of stuff I like. What else is like Cowboy Bebop?
I mean, you're gonna have to tell us once you read that 6th volume of Die Dark. I've been.
Probably that'll be next week.
Yeah. Anything else to say about these 3 episodes that we watched for this Jianghu Journeys?
I don't think so.
Yeah, there's just. I feel like we covered everything.
Do the ranking, Nakazu, for future reference.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I gotta consider my rankings. Who knows their rankings?
I do. Michiko, Cowboy, Samurai.
Okay.
Mine is Cowboy Bebop, Michiko and Hatchin, and Samurai Champloo.
I think I'm the same. Doug is trying to work out the math on a way to put Samurai Champloo lower than 3.
Samurai Champloo tanked on all of them, man.
I don't hate the episode.
know-
It just like it didn't have as much sauce
It's the
as the other
weakest.
episodes.
It's the weakest.
It
Yeah.
didn't have the sauce that I usually love in the show. It was just like, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Darfox and Morgana. Cowboy 1, Michiko 2, Samurai 3. Samurai 3 and all of our rankings, even Seamus's.
Yeah, definitely. They definitely fell off a cliff compared to like the last 2 episodes, which were like 2 of my favorite episodes in the show. And this one is just like, yeah, this is just not up to standard. It's like the second episode again. Just like, nah, this is like the not so good Samurai Champloo.
Too much earnestness in this.
Not enough wacky. I'm waiting for the really wacky stuff.
Yeah, I
You'll
think
get it eventually.
yeah, I think that series really succeeds when it's weird more so than when it tries to be thoughtful.
Like, so far, the wackiest thing happened was last episode 6, Stranger Searching, with, what was it, the Dutch foreigner? And even that seemed kind of, like, possible. I don't know.
There will be more wacky. Don't worry.
What was the first episode with the cop? I can't remember.
That was the episode before with the
ukiyo-e
artist.
painting.
Yeah.
Yes.
That one was fairly good.
I like
For
that episode.
Pete's sake.
That's I mean I've mentioned it. I think that's like one of my favorite episodes of the series.
I've only put Samurai second in my rankings when we watched the episode 3-4 combination. Every other time it has been at the bottom.
Just you wait.
All right, we'll see. I mean, Cowboy Bebop's gonna get better too.
I mean,
So-
I really don't expect you to be a general fan of Samurai Champloo by the end of this, but I do expect you to enjoy at least a handful of episodes. Like some of the more famous episodes that we don't want to mention too much because they're
The
a treat.
baseball one. I keep
Yeah,
hearing
the-
about the baseball.
Baseball one is like high up there. There's another one I'm thinking of.
Oh, it's gonna be so long until we get to baseball. I just checked, and after episode 6, after this one, we are a quarter done with Jianghu Journeys. We have Seamus has plotted this out, and it's gonna take us 24 episodes of this. So we're only a quarter of the way through so far.
We're in it for the long haul, guys.
It's like, if we might not even finish next year at this rate. I don't know.
You
We'll
know,
have to see.
And then we go into all those movies I threw in at the end.
Yeah, like
Most of which I
including
think
the
aren't
movies.
even Japanese.
Oh God. Yeah.
And then we watch every single Yoko Kanno composed anime.
I mean, I wouldn't mind watching Escaflowne again. So maybe. What, you're not a fan of Escaflowne, Morgana?
I've never, this is another one of those series that I never watched, but I watched that one movie that was a recap of the whole season.
Oh,
I did that with
yeah.
Escaflowne. I did that with Evangelion because that's what was available at Blockbuster in 1999 or whatever freaking year it was.
That's so random.
Yeah. Just dating myself a little bit here, but yeah. So I've never seen all of Escaflowne. I'd be curious to check it out. Don't make me watch Evangelion, though.
She didn't compose
Okay.
it. She did compose
That was a
Brain
Seamus idea. I
Powered.
was like, let's watch Eva. I was like, Morgana's
No,
not gonna
it
do
was
that.
Evangelion, Aim for the Ace. I can't remember the Avatar series in mind. I think just those two. I have a vague notion of the third one I was trying to work out.
We
Yeah, it
can
wasn't
watch.
Evangelion on its own. It was like, no, we got to do Aim for the Ace and Evangelion together.
If you want me to watch Evangelion, you're gonna need to hear me complain for how many ever 25 freaking episodes.
I don't know if I want to do Eva, man. I'd sooner rather do the Gundam idea.
I recently watched Ava. I like it. I don't really need to watch it again.
Did you finish those
if
remake
we're going to
movies?
do a Hideki
Yeah.
Anno anime, I think we should do like Kare no Kano, the one he did afterwards.
Oh, you want to do that?
Yeah, I think that one is like way more. That's like them realizing what they could do with anime at the end of Evangelion and being like, we'll just make a whole series based on this idea.
I really liked that series until like I read this actual shoujo, and then I was like, oh no. Oh no, why? Why do you have to do this?
Wait,
Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Karekano?
Yeah.
I definitely remember reading the first volume back in like middle school, but I don't know a whole lot about it other than that.
Okay.
So I think the anime was made while it was still being. Well, not because it was your issue with the manga or with the anime.
Okay, yeah, to be fair, I do like the anime, but my main issue is with the manga and where the manga goes.
I mean, I don't know where it goes, but I've read a shoujo manga from the 90s before, so I have a sense of what you might be talking about.
You can imagine a couple things, and they'd probably be correct.
Probably a brother fucking a sister, a dad fucking a daughter fucking
A teacher.
yeah, the mailman fucking a dog.
If I say anything, you will immediately get it, and then I feel like I will taint you. So I will only bring it up if we ever follow through with this idea.
Which we probably won't, but we should keep talking about these crazy ideas because one of them will stick.
Is Karekano manga like available anymore? It was Tokyo Pop way back at the. I don't think it's in print.
Probably not. Maybe digital.
But yeah, I only say no by watching anime. I have no interest in the manga. There is a dove on YouTube that, as far as I can tell, is the official dove. But God, it's like nails in a chalkboard.
Yeah, some dubs, unfortunately, they do not make the cut.
The manga is no longer in print.
You've been spared.
Only
All right,
used
then,
copies.
aim for the ace. Kare no Kano. And something either between it or after them.
I thought you said Eva.
To be honest, I go back and forth to how much interest I actually have when we were watching Evangelion.
God, thank goodness. We're all spared.
I have like plots out for like, oh, if I do it with these other mech animes, but I'm also not that pushed. Probably will rewatch it at some stage because I haven't seen it in like 18 years.
Didn't you bring up Macross at one point? You want to check out Robotech?
Oh,
Super Dimensional
Yes.
Fortress.
yes, we do. Oh, what was I saying? Macross, Fangs of the Sun, and I don't know what I was thinking for the third series.
It's
Completely-
what is Fangs of the Sun? Sorry.
Fangs of the Sun is like, do you know the guy, Joe Vatooms, the guy who did that?
Oh, Watoons, yeah.
Yeah, so Fangs of the Sun was his first show.
Does it have anything to do with music at all?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, I thought you were making like a music, because Macross has all like the pop singing stuff in it.
Yeah.
No, I think my idea was like, what's the other big non-Gundam approaches to make? And it was
Right.
like, okay,
Oh, okay.
Macross, Fangs of the Sun, and then I was thinking Pat Labor.
You bringing up Macross made me think that I want to make you guys watch Captain Harlock.
Captain.
That might be doable because I feel like I don't know if we can do it for the same episode, but we could watch the anime movies because there's the Yamato
Mhm.
anime movie, right? And then Captain
Mhm.
Harlock anime movie. Isn't there a third series? Is there Queen Esmeralda movie?
And Emeraldus, I don't know if there is. And I haven't seen much. There's
There's something Galaxy 999. Movie, right?
yes, there is. Arcadia of My Youth is there is. There's also there's a computer animated Harlock film, which actually isn't bad. I remember enjoying it. I don't know. We could do some 70s sci-fi. I wouldn't hate that.
Yep. Again, Jianghu Journeys is ending again with us talking about like future ideas.
I know, and it's gonna take us 3 million years to get through this. So let's do this first, and then we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah. Let us go ahead and end this episode then. I want to thank Darfox, Morgana, and Seamus for joining me. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you subscribe to us, review us, rate us. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever else you can find us. Check out our websites, mangamachinations.com. We also have a Tumblr, mangamachinations.tumblr.com. Check out our YouTube channels. We have youtube.com/MangamaCTV, Mangamac Watches, and Nakayoshi Gaming, where you can watch Darfox play Silent Hill F. Come join our Discord server. Just head over to discord.me/mangamac. Financially support us by buying us a coffee. Go to ko-fi.com/mangamac. Send us emails, mangamachinations@gmail.com. You can also follow us on social media at Mangamac Podcast. That's Manga MAC Podcast. We're mostly on Blue Sky, but we also have Instagram, Twitter, everything else. Or you can follow our personal social media. Follow me at Dakazu. Follow Darfox at Darfox8. Follow Morgana at Morgana Relina. And follow Seamus at Seamus2389. Remember, Seamus is spelled without an H. Alright, everyone. Thank you so much for listening to us this week. Bye-bye.